Guess what? We're back on this thing again. This will be the last video I do on this car. This is the one where I am going to get that stuck flathead broke loose, and we are going to get it running. Earlier this week, I messed with this car a little bit. I actually got the clutch situation figured out, and that ended up being no big deal. That was kind of cool. So I'll throw that part in here now. Well, you know what? Just try stomping on it real hard. Not gonna hurt anything. Oh, there it went. Sounds like we just crushed something. Is there something over here causing it to bind up? Oh, well, I think I might have found the issue. Yeah, I found the issue. An extra random solenoid that is, I don't even think for this car. But yeah, as you can see, it was just the extra solenoid that I thought I saw when I was working on this car before. It had just fallen down and gotten wedged between the clutch pedal bracket and the clutch pedal. So anyway, I've got the car jacked up here in case I decide to pull the inspection cover off the transmission. I can maybe pull that off and get a pry bar in there on the teeth on the flywheel if I need to. I don't think I need to because I had a very special tool show up today. This right here. This is a special Flathead 6 unsticker tool. 3-inch diameter piece of aluminum. That is what will be used to beat on those pistons. But first, we need to get some heat down there in those cylinders. They've been soaking with oil for, I believe, 2 weeks now. So, had to get my, the old hood brace that is now the hood prop. But yeah, they've still got oil in cylinders. That's cool. That one's got water in it. We're going to pretend that that did not happen and I am not responsible for that. Anyway, let me get this old head gasket out of here. We need to get some heat in these cylinders before we just start beating on them. There we go. We'll just let that cook there for a little while. Get some heat back in there. Stay tuned. I'll be back in a few minutes. As long as this car doesn't totally burn down. Well, we got those cylinders cooking right now. I figured while this is going on, I would show those of you that have not seen this car what this car is all about. It's a 1950 Dodge Wayfarer fastback, so it's a two-door. Kind of a rare car, but this is also one of the worst cars I own and one of the worst ones I have bought. Bought it on an online auction. eBay actually. Told it was running, told it didn't really have any rust, told it was in good shape. As you can see by the sheer amount of rust and Bondo, that this car is not rust free, and it also is not running. The flathead is stuck and has been stuck the whole time I have owned it. So I've been working on getting it unstuck, working at it for a few weeks. I thought it wouldn't be that stuck, and really the cylinder walls and everything aren't in that bad a shape, so I don't think it's that stuck. But even getting that motor unstuck, getting this car running, yes, that will be good, and that is my goal. But ultimately, I don't really know what to do with this car. It's so rusty. At least up here, what I'm used to seeing, this car is incredibly rusty and in very poor condition. The floors are gone. Rockers are gone. This is cool. I didn't see this until the car was here. Yeah, that is what covers the massive hole in the roof. But just everywhere, rust through. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'd like to get it running and driving and maybe just use it for something. Just cruising around town. I don't see ever restoring this thing. It's been painted. Somebody evidently cared about it a lot at one time, because there's Bondo smeared on about every single inch of it, which of course now is popping off. But anyway, this is the 1950 Dodge Wayfarer project. All right, so now when you need to shut the fire down, I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All you need is the head. We'll take the head here, and we'll just set it right back on top, and that ought to just shut that fire down. Got it mostly out. And there's a block of wood over there. Come on. Well, okay, we'll just let that one burn. So, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Whack a Piston. Well, I'm back, and I was not able to get that one put out, but I don't really care. It can burn for a little while. Not hurting anything. So we're gonna take our special tool and we're going to beat on all the pistons. And this is aluminum, so it's cast block, shouldn't hurt anything. We'll use that to see if we can't get these busted loose. Okay, well, we are back to fire to get this thing heated up some more. I think since there was so much oil in those cylinders, we really weren't getting full heat to them. So now I've got this filled up with stuff. Definitely not gasoline or something that would be dangerous, don't worry. And I'm gonna just let it sit there and burn, and now it's directly on top of the pistons. There's no oil or water or anything. So this should get her good and hot now. Well, that was cooking again for the second time. I went ahead and pulled the radiator out. That was fun to do while trying not to get burned. But now I've been beating on it while it's hot, and I've gotten just a little bit of movement out of the pistons. You can see that one and that one, they've gone down a little bit, but with just like a minute amount of movement. I've not gotten a whole lot done. But some movement is definitely better than none. I've also been burning myself over and over again and just completely splattering that oily mix of stuff all over myself, all over the car, just everywhere. I'll beat on this a little bit more and see if we can't make some progress. Just ever so slightly moving. This one did not want to break loose very easily. That piston was down a little bit and it just came back up. It's a good sign. So, just for the hell of it, I threw a wrench down there on the crank bolt, but you know, that didn't do anything. This thing is really stuck. Oh, also, now that the rad's out of the way, you can just see how rusty the core support and everything is. But anyway, so I've been beating on the pistons now for probably an hour, and that is all the farther down that we have made it. I'm hoping that I am not going to find out that this engine was parked due to some kind of major mechanical failure, like a spun bearing, or, you know, who knows why this car was parked. I don't think it was parked running, but we will see. I will check back after I've made some more progress. So, a couple hours of beating and cussing, and I've called this thing every single name I can think of, and so far that's equated to about a ½ inch, if that, of movement out of this engine. So I'm just going to soak it all down, let it sit some more, periodically come by and beat on it. I'm probably going to come back out here tomorrow and mess with it some more. But right now I'm getting a call from my friends over at the Land of Sky Blue Waters, and I'm going to go answer that call. I'll be back. This time we're using Freol, which I like this stuff more. I've had better luck with it than PB Blaster, which is what I was using before. I either buy this stuff, or really I like Croil. Seem to have the best luck with Croil. Let's give this thing a whack or two, shall we? I need to get that hood opened a little farther so I can really swing on this baby. Since the hood's pretty much rusted in half, that shouldn't be an issue. Let's give this thing a couple good whacks. Dang. I think she's moving a little bit. Once we get the piston down so far, I won't have to worry about that aluminum falling out of the cylinder, and I can just beat the shit out of it. There we go, we're moving now. Making progress. That's not what I intended to do. That hurt. That was painful on my hand. I don't know if you saw that, but it fell on my hand. Got the hood open even farther. So now let's really swing on this thing. Damn hood. Got them to move about an inch now though, so that's good. Oh yeah, we're moving now. There. It's not getting easier. Well, maybe it is a little bit, but okay. So, I've been beating on this thing for a while now. Figured I'd go ahead and grab a battery, and let's just see if that starter will turn it over yet. So this is the cable going straight to the starter, and this is our very sketchy ground. Nothing? Oh, this is the starter cable. Sorry, this thing's got battery cables with ends on them meant for deep cycle marine batteries, and so I just get confused looking at them. Just not sure how to act. All right. Well, bad ground. Oh! Let's get some of these unknown wires out of the way. It just moved though. All right. Shoot, I don't even see any stuck valves. Oh, I see one. Well, look at that. Finally! That only took a few weeks and a lot of effort on my part, but it turns over by the starter. Jeez. Oh! Let's see if we can get these valves unstuck. That one snapped right back. Let's see about that other one. That one's a little stickier. Want to be gentle with these, you'll break them right off. I've done that before. Spray that one with a little bit more oil. Give her just a light tap. It's getting easier. Hear it snap back that time? Seeing any stuck valves. This battery cable's smoking now though. So the next order of business is going to be bump it over a bunch of times, and I'll sand these surfaces of the valve faces and get them cleaned up. I'll wipe up most of this off of here. We'll kind of just clean up the block a little bit, the head gasket surface. Well, now comes the deal of cleaning it up. Let's take some degreaser and we'll kind of get some of this stuff off the head gasket surface here. By the way, a lot of people wonder why I'm always wearing a white t-shirt and how I keep them clean. Well, first of all, I use a wringer washer for my laundry, but once they become too filthy to clean, they become shop rags. They make excellent shop rags. So we'll just get this cleaned up here. Get as much of the carbon and rust off as we care to. Notice I said as we care to. An old flathead 6. They're not too picky. As long as they got compression, no stuck valves, she'll fire up. And really, it might run pretty poorly at first, but the longer it has to run, the better it will. So we'll have a chance to seat those valves back down like they're supposed to and let the rings get seated in again. Looky there, clean it up pretty nice. And I doubt you can see that, but this block's actually been punched 30 over. So, I'll bet she's just like brand new. I bet there's only... Actually, this car didn't have very many miles on it, if I remember the odometer. So, this motor probably doesn't have that many miles on it. But it's a shame that it just got parked like it did. I'm gonna take some strips of sandpaper here and kind of knock some of this big stuff off the valve seats and the valves. Put you guys in on this and show you kind of what I'm doing. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just taking sandpaper and kind of going along here and cleaning up the valves and the seats just to give them half of a chance to seal up. I'm gonna bump this thing over and go around and do that to all of them and clean this up, and I'll check back with you. Well, that actually cleaned up pretty good. I think about as good as it's gonna get. Next thing is the head gasket. So it's got one of these original, well, it probably isn't original, but it's got a really, really old Felpro American-made copper head gasket, and we are going to add some head gasket in a can to it. Okay, throw some of this on there. Should be good to go. A lot of people think that this is a bad idea. You can't reuse these old copper head gaskets. If I was going to daily drive this car, I probably wouldn't, but for the sake of just getting it running, it will be fine. And I've heard a lot of stories about old timers using these 2 and sometimes even 3 times. So it's not like these are high compression, high RPM engines. Not really gonna hurt anything. If it was, you know, the modern style head gaskets, yeah, you obviously cannot reuse those, but these old copper ones on a flathead would be just fine. Flap this gasket back down. Try to get the holes lined up pretty well. Next thing, ooh, look at that. My hand's all covered in copper coat now. So I got the head already cleaned up, ready to throw back down there. Now let's set the head. Maybe. Just climb up here. Just get all the way under the hood. This would be easier if you didn't put the car up on the jack stands. Carefully set the head like that. There we go. Try to put some bolts through it. Get it all lined up. Got the head thrown on it. I also got a battery and proper battery cables in it, so I got it to where all I have to do is jump the solenoid now. Well, the head's back on. Got that stuff kind of just, you know, held in place for now. Got a set of spark plugs, which AC Delco. I'm not real happy about that, but they might work better than the old rusty ones. Who knows? We'll see. I was going to put the rad back in, but I decided against that because it's completely full of sludge and nasty stuff. So we're not going to run it around long enough that it'll get hot anyway, if it even starts, first of all. You'll notice too, she's on the ground now, and I got 4 wheels and tires put on there. And let me tell you, it's not easy to come up with 4 wheels and tires that hold air around this place. I had to go steal some off other cars. And also, these rears are a lot fatter than the old size. I don't remember what they come to. I don't remember what size the originals are on these cars, but most tires you buy now are going to be fatter than the original size, and it pretty much takes an act of Congress to get them in there around that fender lip, but we got it. Okay, so got the plugs thrown in here, and I'm just guessing by how the old wires are laid out, what order they're in. We'll find out pretty quick if that's the wrong order. But I think that this is right. So we'll throw these old wires back on real quick. Now, I need to turn my attention to the carburetor. So I grabbed onto the accelerator here, and that butterfly was stuck. So I was able to actually get that broken loose just by forcing it. But I was looking down the throat of the carb here, and the accelerator pump is working, and it looks like it's just squirting nasty rust water down into the intake. So I'm going to pull the top off this carb, and we're going to see how bad it is in there. Pretty simple on these Carter ball and balls. You got to disconnect this choke linkage here, which is just one of these special little clips, and then that pulls out. The clip comes off. You've got another little clip right there on the accelerator pump linkage. Then you've got, I think it's just six little screws here holding the top on. Try not to tear that gasket. Really need a razor blade for this. Oh, and there's another little linkage down there too. Might be able to get it off there. Yeah. Okay, I think we saved the gasket. Now, that is completely full of water. Yeah, totally full of water. So let me pull this thing totally off, spray it out, and give this thing at least half a chance of running. Well, I'm back, and I have decided that the best course of action was to take the Carter bowling ball that was on this car and leave it in the ultrasonic cleaner for probably, I don't know, a year. That might be how long it takes to get it clean. That carburetor might not even be rebuildable. So the best thing to do was take this other Carter ball and ball I've got that I know is good because it was just on that DeSoto I got running 2 weeks ago now. So that's what I threw on here just to see if this will run. If this engine ends up running and running well and is worth the money on a carburetor kit for its own carburetor, then I will do it. But I don't want to buy it right now and then rebuild it and everything just to find out that this car has a rod knock when it starts. So we're going to roll with this carburetor for now. The next thing is going to be, let's check for spark. This car has fought me on every single thing since I have owned it, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's something catastrophically wrong with the distributor next. Alright, so now I've got the temporary fuel tank sitting up on the roof, which is just a boat tank, and I've got a line run down there to the carburetor. I've got gas, got accelerator pump, and it even leaks. Perfect. Now, I ran a jumper wire from the coil over here to the negative side of the battery because we're running positive ground. So let's hook this up, and I should be able to jump the car, the solenoid now. Let's try to get some of this stuff out of the fan blades. Hopefully it'll just have spark, but I'll probably have to clean the points. Alright, watch down there at the points. See if you can see them spark. Well, you might not be able to see it, but they're sparking. So now we should have spark. Okay, now we have spark. Let's try it. good fuel flow. Well, I cranked on it for a while after I shut the camera off, and I messed with it and dumped some more gas in the carb and was jacking around. Yeah, never said I was smart. Let's throw this back in the distributor and see if we can get a little bit farther now. Okay, that might work a little bit better. Let me throw this. Now let's just see if we've got spark at that plug. Oh, shoot, she just tried to go. Yeah, it's gonna run now. You gotta run a lot better with the rotor back in the distributor. Okay. Let's give her a go. This car is probably in neutral, right? Oh well. It's a fluid drive, so, you know, they'll slip. That was not staged. It really just tried to start that quick. To. It's gonna smoke like crazy. Stronger! Okay, let me get a better fuel supply. Get a shot of that smoke out there if you can. We're just gonna smoke everywhere out now. Let me get some more gas up there in that tank and see if we can get it to run a little longer. Jeez, this whole area is just getting smoked out. Come on. I'm back, and it is day 3 now of this Dodge, trying to get it running and driving. So last night, late at night, we got her running. Now it's time to see if she'll drive. Prime the gas here, get the carburetor bowl filled up.